Hey everyone, and welcome to another explainer. So today, we're taking a really fascinating look at the crypto market, but we are completely flipping the traditional script. Usually when people talk about crypto, it's all about these wild roller coaster rides, right? Buying a token, holding on for dear life, and just praying for a massive moonshot. But what if we approached it differently? What if we treated the volatility of crypto not as a gamble, but as an actual engine for a reliable income-generating asset? Well, today we're going to explore exactly how you can start generating monthly Ethereum dividends. Now, what if I told you that you could earn up to a 40% annualized yield on Ethereum without actually owning the coin? I know, that sounds almost contradictory, but that is the exact hook of the strategy we're breaking down today. And honestly, the best part? You can do this without dealing with the hassle of messy crypto exchanges, without managing digital wallets, and without the direct risk of losing your token access keys. We are talking about a streamlined, structured strategy for generating consistent monthly cash flow, regardless of whether the broader market goes up, down, or just moves sideways. Okay, let's dive into this structured playbook. Here's exactly how we're going to break this down today. Number 1, the crypto dividend secret. 2, the buy-in math. 3, the two-step loop. 4, why this play works. And 5, the real risks involved. Let's get right to it. Section 1, the crypto dividend secret. Bypassing exchanges. To pull off this income-generating strategy, we actually need a very specific foundational asset. See, we're not going to a crypto exchange to buy spot Ethereum. Instead, we're looking at a much more traditional financial vehicle. The secret here is the ETHA ETF. By utilizing an exchange-traded fund that's specifically designed to track Ethereum, we completely bypass the crypto exchanges. As of our source data on May 4th, 2026, the ETHA ETF is trading at exactly $17.66, and this is the foundational asset for our entire strategy. Because it trades on traditional stock market platforms, we can apply classic stock market income strategies, like selling covered calls, directly to the price action of Ethereum. Section 2, the buy-in math, capital and returns. Understanding the vehicle is great, but we need to see exactly how much capital is required. To execute this strategy effectively, $1,750 is kinda your magic number. Why? Well, you need to buy 100 shares of the ETHA ETF. Since it's trading right around that 1750 to 1766 mark, buying 100 shares means your total capital requirement is roughly $1,750. And what's just phenomenal about this is how highly accessible it makes the strategy. You don't need tens of thousands of dollars to buy full chunks of actual Ethereum to get started. You just need enough to secure this one block of ETF shares. And this brilliantly illustrates the actual return math of our dividend play. So once you hold those 100 shares, you sell a monthly $18 covered call. By simply agreeing to sell your shares if the price reaches $18, the market literally pays you a premium right up front, usually between 20 and 40 cents per share. For 100 shares, that's $20 to $40 of instant cash right in your pocket every single month. When we calculate that against your capital, you're looking at a monthly yield of 1.2% to 2.3%. To put that into perspective, if you compound those premiums over a year, you're looking at a projected annualized yield of 15% to well over 30%. That is serious cash flow generated just from holding the asset and selling options against it. Okay, moving to Section 3, the two-step loop, automating the income. Now that we've established the math, we need to shift our focus to the mechanics. How does this automated income machine actually run month after month? Well, it all comes down to a specific, repeatable cycle. Step 1, you sell that $18 call. If ETHA stays below $18 by the end of the month, the option just expires worthless. You keep your shares, you keep that $20 to $40 cash premium, and you just repeat step 1 next month. Easy, right? But what happens if the price goes up? That brings us to step 2, assignment. Let's say ETHA hits $18.10. You're forced to sell your shares at your agreed $18 strike price. But remember, you bought in around $17.50, so you pocket a 50-cent per share capital gain, which is $50 total, plus you still keep the premium you collected. You won, which leads us to step 3, the put pivot. Now you have a pile of cash and no shares, so you sell a $17.50 put option. You literally get paid a premium, usually around $40, just to wait for the price to drop back down to your original entry point. When it does, you buy the shares back and the whole loop just starts all over again. Section 4, why this play works, market mechanics. It sounds almost too systematic, doesn't it? Let's look under the hood. Why is the market willing to pay you this much cash just for agreeing to buy or sell at these specific prices? Now, what's really interesting to consider here is the concept of implied volatility, or IV. ETH has an extremely high IV of around 58%. In the options market, volatility equals uncertainty, and uncertainty makes options contracts really expensive. Because Ethereum's price can swing wildly, buyers are willing to pay top dollar for options contracts. But remember, in our strategy, you aren't the buyer, you're the seller. High IV directly translates to those juicy $20 to $40 premiums. You're getting paid handsomely to take on the other side of that volatility. Beyond just the math, this strategy gives you a massive psychological edge. If you've ever held native crypto, you absolutely know the feeling of FOMO, the fear of missing out. The price pumps, you get greedy, you refuse to sell, and then suddenly the market crashes and your gains just evaporate. This loop strategy completely removes human error and greed. By selling the $18 call, you're automating your profit taking. You're locking in a predetermined win. Combine that psychological protection with the low $1,750 entry point, and you've got a highly disciplined system that protects investors from themselves. Section 5. The real risks involved. What could go wrong? As you know, there's no such thing as a perfect, risk-free system. Every financial play has a catch, and absolute transparency is key to everything we discuss in this explainer. So the crucial point is understanding your downside, which basically falls into two categories. Over on the left, we have the moon risk. If ETH suddenly spikes to $25, you don't get to participate in that massive gain because you sold the call. Your profits are strictly capped at $18. You've got to remind yourself, this is an income play, not a moonshot. On the right side, we have the dump risk. What if Ethereum crashes and ETH drops to $12? Your $18 call expires, which is nice, but you're now a long-term holder of an asset currently worth $12, even though your cost basis was $17.50. Now, the silver lining here is that even in a massive dump, you can still run what's known as the wheel strategy, which is simply that loop we discussed earlier, continuing to sell covered calls against your shares to continuously collect premium and slowly chip away at that higher cost basis over time. So it really all boils down to this. Are you ready to trade the chaotic dream of a crypto moonshot for structured, consistent income? It requires a total mindset shift. From being a market gambler to acting like the market casino, collecting those steady premiums, respecting the math, and sticking to the loop. I really hope this breakdown gave you a totally new perspective on how to pull monthly dividends out of the Ethereum ecosystem. Thank you so much for watching this explainer. If you found this breakdown of the ETHA loop valuable, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing you clear, structured knowledge straight to your screen. Until next time, stay focused and keep learning.